So let's take a look again. We do the next path, where is something we can change and improve the animation. So what about this? The ball is up too early, and when he turns around, the body and the head could go down a little bit. The pose is dead here though, so there could be a little bit more subtle movement to keep the pose alive. So first change the ball. Leave the hand a little bit later for one frame. And let's put in some subtle movement on the eyes and eyebrows. When he looks at the ball while going up, the eyebrows go a little bit up. And when the ball comes down, the opposite way. And the eyes lead here, it's like an anticipation, so the audience will know that he looks to the right of the screen. Here you go. First the the pupils move, then he makes the blink, and the head can stay a little bit longer here, and the eyes follow the ball. And now it gets a little bit tricky because all the subtle movement is taking so much time. Probably it will take as long as we had for the blocking. And the next 2 or 3 passes of putting in betweens and breakdowns. So you see, the eyes lead now, then the blink, the eyebrows comes down, and then we put in a little bit of movement into the body. Just a small one, so the character is still moving a little bit. Also the head, get rid of those keys. So he moves from that key to that one. A very subtle movement. I bring the body down a little bit when he turns. A little bit. It's a very, very small overlap of the upper body. See, that small movement keeps the character alive when he's in that pose. And I don't want the head to overshoot like that. And now, let's go into the graph editor and I show you what I don't want. This overshoot, I don't want that. So I go into the graph editor and adjust it there. Smooth the overshoot out, like that. So this is mainly the rotation. Yeah, it's gone. You see a little bit of movement in the body. And we put in a little bit more. And the head will lead that movement. The foot comes a little bit later. And it stops more early. The eyes will open even more at that position. Here they will open here. To emphasize this pose. The eyebrow will move up. Subtle movement in the eyelids and in the eyebrows. And the head should be strong on the first up movement. Maybe I should try a blink in his eye. No, I take the one towards us, his right eye. Okay, put another key here. Yeah, should be later. Yeah, something like that. And the head should tilt to the side when he blinks. Yeah. And here the eye should lead again, and first look to the right, to his right, towards the ball. And the head will go after the eyes start to move. So the eyes lead, then the head, and then the hand, his left hand or arm, and on the head turn again a blink. Move the eyes down a little bit, so it's like feels like a squash. They should be opened sooner. And I think he should turn faster to the ball, so we have more time looking at the ball. So the pose looking at the ball should be longer. So I see again, select the keys, scale them, so I get more time. Even more, so the turning to the ball is faster and we get more time looking at the ball. Yeah, it's better. Something else I would like to do, when he changes his weight. We have an overshoot again, and so let's get rid of that. There, let's get rid of it, just smoothing that out. Just changing the tangent and changing the value of the key. I think it's quite fast and easy to get rid of the overshoot. I will do that later in fine-tuning for all curves and all keys. And with the same problem with the foot, see there is an overshoot. We can make the same in the graph editor or just make a double key. Yeah, what I wanted to do is the change in the hip. See that? And it changes. So if he goes from that curve, that one to that one. Yeah. Looks better to me. And you should start already here. Changing that shape of his body. Alright. And when he points towards the other guys we don't see, you could do an accent with the arm. going more down and coming up. The hand shouldn't go up at the end. See, at the end it shouldn't have, just move it down a little bit. And now we can also open the hand. Doesn't have to be in that pose after the pointing. So we open it here. This pose is not yet very nice, so change the index a little bit. Or a little bit later. The hip is a little bit too dead when he hits that pose. So there should be a little movement in it, a little rotation, and a little translation into it. Yeah, this looks weird because he's doing that weird rotation. See it? Here, here, so it shouldn't go back. So we get rid of that by kicking the overshoot. There it is. Yeah. So let's get rid of it. And it's in here too, so let's do the same for those curves. Just the value, just change the value and the tangent. And maybe here too, yes, as we see, change it a little bit. And let's see how it looks like now. Yeah, that's better. I'd like to accelerate it a little bit. Here at that position. Instead of going in a linear movement, I'm talking about the leg, to the ground, I will move it up like this here. Yeah, and now acceleration is another principle. That's what we're doing with the foot now. And it means you point out the essence of an idea by the design and the action. This means you state an issue more extreme than pure realism could do. And that's what we're doing with the foot. Probably nobody would move the foot back on the ground like that. But we do that in order to make this action stronger and clearer. So everybody sees straight away what is happening with that foot. And also puts more strength into the step for the action throwing the ball. But you must be careful if you do that exaggeration. Don't overdo it, because sometimes you can destroy the illusion of life by that. As a very simple example, if you have a realistic character and you make his movement so extreme that it looks like a cartoon character, it doesn't fit together. So you always have to be careful about that. And it's also important, what is the overall animation style of the movie? Is it cartoony or is it realistic? And beside that, that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do all the time. If I have an action or some acting, I'm trying to make it stronger than I would do it in real life. So if anybody sees the action or acting of the character, he sees straight away what the character is up to. If you make the acting or action too small and not strong enough or big enough, sure, depending on your animation style, but then maybe the audience don't get what you want to tell. So it's better to first over-animate it, maybe make it much stronger at the beginning, and you can always take the animation down or back. But let's come back to our character here. Here's something wrong with the speed of his right arm. It suddenly slows down. It shouldn't be like that. Should go faster down, much faster, and then slows in. Let's take a look how it looks through the camera. So when he goes into that pose, ready to throw the ball, maybe we could do some additional animation on his right arm, hand, where he holds the ball, just to give it a little bit more life into it. See? Something like that, turning the hand. So I will do that by using the rotations for the hand and the shoulder. Rotate this arc into his hands. Something like that. It's like also in some kind of anticipation. And for the head, something... No, it looks very stiff. Everything is moving, just the head is almost 100% from the side. So we change that, we change its angle, so it doesn't look so linear and robotic. Do that. It's better, but it still looks a little bit weird because it's almost making a linear transition. So what we do, we go into that position and leave it like that. And when he's doing that, we lift up his body, get rid of that key, so we put more weight onto his action, even more up. And take a look at his right foot. The foot is just sliding when he makes the step, so we change that like that, moving up the heel just a little bit. And this is also too soft. So move it up a little bit. So his left arm, can improve that too. It looks a little bit dead, very stiff. We should keep it alive by moving it up already a little bit more. And here, don't make the spacing so big. So let's take a look through the camera. Also the foot that he rises is very linear, so let's change that and maybe try to get more of an arc. Here again, you see, we also have an overshoot on his left foot. We get rid of that in a second. First do the knees. So see, I just delete keys, put in new keys, smooth it out by putting maybe one key between two others and get rid of the other ones, the other two, or the opposite way. We also do a little bit of overlap onto his tip. Here the opposite way. And here's this weird wheel movement again. We have this overshoot again, as I said before. So what we do, take a look at the curves and get rid of that overshoot. Here we go. Smooth it out. Here we go, smooth it out. Smooth it out. Not this one, like that. See, it's much better. But what is happening here? Smooth that out. So it's better. Now let's take a look. The arm doesn't work yet. It's totally dead. So what can we do there? Yeah. It's better now, but I will take care of this later. And now we could improve the fingers. They look too even all the time, not change in shape. So now the hand should lead now the action. So we move it up here a little bit earlier. Let's do it like he's trying to grab something in the air. He's reaching after something. Just rotating, rotating, rotating. So I'm trying to make a nice silhouette. So the shape of the hand isn't the same all the time. See how much time this takes just for the hand? The time goes away if you go into detail. So get rid of the other keys here. All right. Should be an anticipation in his face. We first rise the eyebrows and then lower them to make this pose more intense, his facial expression. The same with the eyelids. First open it a little bit and then close it like into a moving hold. So it just looks, just opened a little bit. And you see, this is also an exaggeration. Make it more extreme, push it to the limits so it's more alive. Alright, so I think that's for it. Save it before we go to the next step.